day. I have not seen this before, you know what I'm saying, filming this video, but we're finna watch it together and we finna react to it.
There you go, and getting to know everybody last week.
Oh, it was good. I learned from a lot of the vets here. I was listening. They were giving me, a good welcoming. They were telling me how training camp was going to be. I thought it was very competitive. But it felt good to be here, honestly, and to play with these talented women.
The whole just vibe of it, has it kind of like hit you that you're like here now and in the midst of it, or is it kind of like, hey, you're just like gonna come day by day and see how that rolls out?
Well, it hasn't hit me, but it's
See, it ain't hit her that Caitlin Clark's on her team yet. Like, damn, I'm still mad from college, but she's right here. She's right there. And she's on your team now.
Day 1 got people talking. Day 2 changed the tone entirely. It made people stop and pay closer attention. Not just watch, but really observe what was happening. When Caitlin Clark stepped into Day 2, the environment felt different. Not louder or quieter, but more intense, more focused. Players were more alert, coaches more engaged, and even warm-ups carried a sharper edge. There was a shared awareness that every possession mattered. The session began in a controlled, almost cautious rhythm. It looked like adjustments had been made overnight. Spacing was cleaner, communication was sharper, and movement was more structured. For a brief stretch, it seemed to be working. Then the first signs of disruption appeared. It wasn't a dramatic breakdown, just a subtle moment. A quick read, a decision made a fraction earlier than expected, a pass that opened a gap in the defense. Small details, but enough to shift the rhythm of the entire session. From there, the pace began to change. The next sequence came quicker and with more confidence. A shot taken without hesitation. A play initiated without waiting for structure to fully set. Space wasn't just used, it was created. That's when the shift became visible in the reaction of others. Players started communicating more, looking to reset positioning, trying to stabilize what was unfolding. When structure is challenged repeatedly, hesitation begins to appear, and hesitation disrupts timing. As the tempo continued, the focus moved to the sidelines. Coaches became more observant, adjusting in real time, trying to match what they were seeing with the original plan. But execution was now dictating the pace more than strategy. Possession after possession, the same pattern emerged: quick decisions, efficient movement, and continuous pressure that forced constant adjustment. And once the reaction starts lagging behind execution, control naturally shifts toward whoever is setting the tempo.
It's the first day of training camp for the Indiana Fever. Now, what we could expect is a lot of clips. Hopefully we get some clips from Caitlin Clark and the team, kind of seeing them gelling, seeing them getting stuff together. I believe here, let me pull this up real quick. Oh, no, this is an old clip. It's Caitlin Clark rookie year. My bad. No. Yeah. Hopefully we get to see some of this. Hopefully we get to see some of that action there, dog. But just like I was saying, Caitlin Clark is definitely back in the gym. There's a lot to expect going into this training camp. It's basically a whole new team again. Half of the team is new, I should say that. And we just got to wait and see now. Mo Billings and Aaliyah Boston.
The gym starts to feel different, not chaotic, but quiet in a way that carries tension. Focus sharpens, and everyone becomes aware that something is unfolding that needs to be understood, not ignored. Then comes the moment people will later replay. A possession where everything aligns, movement, timing, and decision-making all working in sync. When it ends, there's no immediate reaction, just a pause. That silence reflects recognition that something is working at a high level. From there, the tone shifts internally. Not loud panic, but a more measured uncertainty. Players begin to reassess. Coaches start to question what needs to be adjusted. And in fast-paced environments, even a short window can feel significant when momentum starts to build. 15 minutes may not seem long in isolation, but in competitive settings, it's enough time to reveal patterns, test structure, and influence perception. When something effective appears more than once, it stops being an accident and starts being something teams take seriously. At that point, attention expands beyond the gym itself. Coaches, analysts, and opposing teams begin to take notice. Film study becomes more detailed. Preparation becomes more specific. Small patterns start to get tracked and discussed. What follows is a shift in mindset. It's no longer about reacting in the moment. It becomes about preparing in advance. And preparing for a fluid, adaptable system is always more challenging than preparing for something predictable. As recognition grows, so does the urgency to adjust. But adjustments take time, and in competitive environments, time is always limited. That's where momentum becomes important. Once it starts building, it influences not just one practice or one sequence, but how everything is viewed moving forward. Each new session carries more weight, and each new game becomes more closely analyzed.
Into draft day.
Well, I was like in the air. I didn't know what team was going to draft me. Like I talked to a lot of teams on Zoom. We had really good talks. But I was definitely in the air. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know what team was going to draft me. But I'm very blessed and very grateful to be here.
How long after the pick did you hear from Aaliyah?
Oh, it was quick. I checked my phone and she texted me and she was just congratulating me and happy that I got drafted here.
You gonna have to guard bigs again?
Oh, Aaliyah Boston.
That's what I'm saying. We just watched you guard some bigs.
Yeah, I might. I got to get my weight up a little bit. She's pretty strong. But whatever the coach needs me to do, I'll do that. Okay.
So, as you guys can see here, once again, the Indiana Fever
Feels similar to
did not allow her. I think this Scots. I don't want to play Scots. No, this is actually from the Indy Star. So the Indiana Fever did not allow her to answer questions in regards to Caitlin Clark and their relationship, which I think they need to do that quick, fast, and in a hurry, bro. Now this was Lexi Hall.
Down to last year.
Yeah. I feel like every first day, everyone's excited. There was a really great energy. Everyone's excited to get back in the gym. I think more than anything, like there was a chance of us not having a season. So for all of us to be here, knowing there's a season, knowing we're excited, knowing that what the group that we have, everyone's eager, and yeah, it was a great day.
You ever think you'd announce your free agency at the Masters?
No, and what a time to go to the Masters without a phone. It was so funny. We would get back like 7:00 and just be on our phones for 30 minutes, getting the updates on who's going where, what happened when we were there. Yeah, crazy.
About that decision, what made this the right place for you to say?
I mean, this is home. I think, when season ended last year, I knew this is where I wanted to be. I've been here for 4 seasons and feel like we had a great momentum last season. We're able to accomplish more than we had in the past. And I think for me, I just want to keep growing on that, building on that, and building with this group.
What is it about Indy that you've enjoyed so much that's made it feel like home?
Because now a bigger question is hanging over everything. Was this just an early glimpse or the start of something more significant? If this level of execution continues, it stops being just a short storyline and starts becoming a real shift in how things are perceived, around roles, expectations, and overall control of the game. And when that kind of shift begins to take shape, it naturally draws attention across the league. Everything, in this case, traces back to those first 15 minutes of noticeable change. So the real question now becomes, did Caitlin Clark and this group show enough on day 2 to suggest this momentum is real, or are opposing teams already studying it closely and preparing counter-adjustments? That's the uncertainty moving forward. Whether this is the beginning of something sustained or something that will quickly be answered by the next level of preparation from everyone else.